Looks like everything's starting to boot on up. Give me a moment to turn the live chat windows. Live chat windows are online. Looks like everything is good to go. Give me a moment to check my other computer. And looks like that's all good to go as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spawn left side as Dark Gray Garage, we got Evil on. Spawn on the right side as the Red Will, we got Cyrus Sky. Will is of course unchanged for the cartridge counterparts. Standard boarding cost 2 radius, 36 to 60. All units conditional plus 10/10, ground units conditional plus 20% offense. Additionally, for superpower, plus 2 movement range. For Garage, she's of course a custom CO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost is 0 radius, a reduced expansion of 20, 50, and 50. All units in the CO zone, including herself, including direct ones, get plus 1 maximum range. Additionally, all of them get plus 10/10. For superpower, plus 2 maximum range. Honestly, it's sort of weird that it feels like it's harder for her to get her plus 1 CO zone than Tabata, who has the standard energy generation. I generally still in the belief that Gratch should be trying to be loaded up in early anti-year to get the power charge going nice and quickly. Though this is not Fog War. This map's usually Fog War, right? Unless I'm crazy. Maybe this is a custom game. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Let's see what I want to drink. Yep, side even. Alright, now just infantry, not big surprise. Though we do have, looks like a later capture on the base here for Will. If he wills it. Double bike now. Looks like he went for a late capture this so he can forward a double bike without feeling bad at committing a base skip. But we got double bike over here. Another pair of infantry saving up 3,000 monies, maybe eyeing for a tank next turn. Next turn we have 8,000 income, plus 3,000, so 11,000, minus a tank which is 7,000, leaves 4,000 remaining, which is enough for 2 infantry units, or infantry bike. Tank double infantry, and I just took a drink for my drink and it went down the wrong pipe. Sorry about that. How many times have you guys done that? I do it way too often. Double bike infantry there, so looks like Grot saves up 3,000 monies. So she has no counter to the tank there. Will does put the tank on top of the HQ and go down the middle or up north of its current position. Next turn, Will can't be sealed. Could go for another tank this turn. Another tank and pair of infantry, so double tank up north. Grot probably needs to pull out something to counter tanks up here relatively soon. Generally, it seems like a bad idea for Grot to be loaded up into a battle copter. Though there's enough mountains, so it may actually be a bit more usable. We do have a tank there. Because I've seen a lot of times where a Grot battle copter just gets zoned out by a single anti-air way too easily. But with the amount of mountain tops here, that could actually be a possibility. Because since they could probably sit behind the mountain top, take a shot, or be able to back away, go to another part of the map, get a shot, things of that sort. Third tank, infantry, and bike up north. Goes another tank there. Goes another tank there. The current rate may could have gone for a medium tank there. Infantry double tank. Right now she has 20,000 income versus 17,000. Does seal the tank way up north. Okay. Probably when seeing this tank there, like, oh yeah, I can go seal tank this now. So Will's probably gonna be aggressive on this flank. Anti-air bike. Sees the airport captured. Goes for a battlecopter. She may be trying to seal the battlecopter. She honestly could afford a bomber. Grot CO bomber. That's gotta be a USB 1R for that. Double bike artillery in battlecopter. Will she seal the battlecopter? Infantry or missile bike and artillery. I don't think the missile is a good idea. I think it's a little bit too early for with one battlecopter on the field. Plus, it's not fog of war, so oh, seals a tank there. Very nice. Could avoid any more aircraft that missile about. Goes for another battlecopter either way. Just don't play like Mings and throw 12 aircraft into a single missile. I forget how many he sent in. It's like 6, including bombers and dusters. Both players currently at 0 energy. Grot has 2 tanks in center while Will has the 3. These forces could start pushing forward. Battlecopters can come for a flank. Battlecopters could try edging up this way, then rotating down south, try to juke out the anti-air. But there's not a whole lot of terrain, honestly, to juke out the anti-air. Anti-air probably just at most stick behind this mountain to the side and get ready to go up and north or south. Got a nice line of infantry here. 23,000 versus 22,000 income. Anti-air tank. Artillery. Tank. Will's setting up a pretty good assault up here. Anti-air is here, missiles here, which means the battlecopter head down south over here. Granted, there's another battlecopter to help intercept. We got a third battlecopter by Grot. She's been on to number them. Have you actually seen a single engagement yet this entire game? It's turn 12, not even an infantry skirmish. I just realized that. This is going to be seems like a bit of no man's land there. Artillery, tank, infantry, and battlecopter. I think the big conflict's going to happen right here. I don't think there's much going to happen here, just a bit of posturing. Tank, and artillery. Anti-air pushes way forward. And that was largely a free shot from the anti-air. It's out of range to artillery. Battlecopter can't do much versus infantry units can't do much versus it. So that was pretty much a free shot there. Interesting. Overall good idea. Just wasn't expected. Tank, anti-air. Right now, Grot has 25,000 income versus 22. It has 162 versus 139, so she's about a full turn advantage. Anti-air tank tank. Anti-air takes a kill there. Finds another free shot there. Very nice. Double anti-air battlecopter and infantry. Honestly, mass anti-airs wouldn't be half bad against this entire formation. There's only one tank to contend with, and anti-airs can somewhat contend with a tank. But double anti-air could help Grot just punch through this region. Another reason why to go for a CO anti-air. Yeah. Post like the tank there, maybe going to try to get some free shots with the tank down south. Takes up the bike there, hits the bike. Will's at 16 energy. Joins. We got the missile. It's pretty far in the back line. Got the battlecopter. Tank, and anti-air. Gets a pick there. Gets that unit there. Gets the bike. Does not finish off said bike. Bike's down to 10%. There's a shot there onto the tank. However, the missiles in range, that battlecopter will be going on down. There's, of course, some anti in the region, so still have to be careful about losing 2 battlecopters rather than just 1. CO tank heading back up north. Taking multiple shots against the front line there. Tank, and tank. Will possibly could play out superpower this turn. It may actually be a good idea to pop a superpower. Pops the superpower plus 2 movement range. I mentioned all the extra firepower bonuses. Takes a number of bikes. Anti-air manages to blitz his way to the battlecopter. Hits Grot's command tank. Will be on even health next turn. Or should I say both are at odd health. Of course, Will have extra defense this turn as well, so Grot's counterattack won't be as great, but does manage to interrupt a capture. Takes out another unit there. Good number of picks there. Strikes the artillery. Multiple anti-airs up here. The artillery could strike the tank there to help soften it up. Strikes the tank there. Hits the tank. Hits the tank again. Hits the tank. Finish off that tank. Gets the infantry unit there. Takes a ranged shot there. Finish off the tank. Hits the tank with the on top of the city. Leave at 2 health. Anti-air hits anti-air. Artillery falls back. Does not take a shot against that tank. Battlecopter survives thanks to the extra defense. Takes the battlecopter. Out of range of all the artillery, just have to worry about a single tank, and there's multiple tanks in reserve, artillery and battlecopter. Does get some picks there. Hits the bike. Pulls back the anti-air to the HQ. Takes out the battlecopter with the missile. Grot's command tank does get shot there. A lot of wounded tanks could just use to join up. It would soon be 5, 4, 11, so combine all those tanks. Oh. I thought that tank had 2 health left. It didn't even do a single point of damage? Okay. It's at 11 health, so maybe pretty bad luck there. Grot's up to 10 energy now. Anti-air tank. Takes a pot shot there. Does join all those tanks together. They formed as one. Takes the infantry unit there. Anti-air pulls back. Artillery pulls back even farther. Anti-air pulls back as well. Tank. Artillery. This anti-air could probably get hit. Hits the missile. Hits the anti-air twice. Joins those infantry units together. Can start capturing some of these northern properties. So it'll be a little bit slow. Looks like got an turn of 152,000 versus 135, about 1 turn advantage. Gets a good shot there. Hits the Alpine troop. A lot of wounded tanks there. And we're surrounded some infantry. Grot does have a good number of tanks here. They're all pretty healthy. 4 full health tanks, 1 8 health tank. Rotating those up north would probably be good there. Does get a free shot there. Has +1 range there. In order to get the range advantage, I'm pretty sure you have to start your turn within the CO zone, not end your turn with it. It's a large number of hits there. Will got a lost good core tanks, but there's still a very good number of tanks there. He could possibly pull a superpower next turn. Tank, and bike, leaving 4,000 monies in the bank. Missile does strike the battlecopter. Will has a superpower available. Will he go for it? Bomber is advancing. Does not pull out superpower in this turn. Takes out the tank there. If Grot gets +2 global range with her superpower, that's not going to happen. She needs another 20 energy. Actually, that could possibly be possible. I wonder if there's any way for her to get her superpower this turn. It could allow her to range this bomber with the extra range. Takes a shot there. Takes an immediate shot there. Diagonal shot there. No superpower this turn. It has enough to pull out superpower. Infantry takes a pot shot for the +1 range. Might as well. We could pull out his superpower next turn. Good amount of artillery here. But we've got a good amount of forces here. It looks like none of these parts will be kept next turn, unless the bug has been fixed where it counts down rather than up. It does not, still counting up. Pops the superpower, which all those forces down here was a bit of a waste, honestly. Maybe really wants to try to range Grot's command tank. Yeah, I felt like the superpower was a little bit wasteful. Grot can pull out her superpower this turn. In comparison, that would make it so this tank will be able to range this tank no problem. Actually, yeah, would be able to range it no problem. Though she does not pull out her superpower this turn. Takes multiple range shots against the medium tank. They take one little round in return. Anti-air duster bike. Income's gonna even out. 25,000 versus 23,000. Bomber strikes the tank. Does get the regular tank there. Medium tank does fall back. So there's nothing going to be able to range the bomber next turn, even with the superpower. Rocket tank and commits a base skip. Takes up the tank there, thanks to extra range. Looks like Grot just not really need to pop her superpower just yet. To start edging her front line forward over here. Or rotate her front line onto the center. Tank, tank, tank. Anti-air hits the tank. Doing a lot of stuff in here. Bomber takes up Grot's command tank. So there's no Grot superpower now. She could seal one of the tanks in the reserve, or go for something expensive like a bomber. I would be half tempted to say a seal bomber could be very fun, but keyword fun doesn't mean practical. Bike double tank. Seals the tank. Tank, tank. Getting a decent amount of damage there. Bomber does take a pretty good shot. Tank, tank, and bike. Medium tank gets a good shot there on the anti-air. Anti-air goes down. Duster should be also be able to range the bomber. That would be in range of a missile, but it's probably a good idea to sack the Duster against the bomber. Does with entry there, so the command tank could take a shot. Taking that out first would be a good idea for hitting the bomber, try to get rid of the extra defense. Oh, the missile will be shot down next turn. Got a bomber, bike, tank, and infantry. Duster does get shot down. Bomber's down to 2 health. It will still pose a bit of a problem, but nothing too crazy now. Anti-air tank and rig to rig the game. Maybe eyeing for a temporary airport along this mountain range. One health artillery and the 9 health artillery could join. Yes, they do. Duster. Bike. Infantry and tank. Tank does strike tank. Does hit the command tank. Bomber hits the regular tank. Tank, tank, mech, and battlecopter. Duster. Bomber, push way forward, but not too far forward, trying to avoid the missile. Please tell me it avoided the missile. Yes, it did. Tanks rotating up north. These things are starting to fall back. Maybe a rocket here would be half bad for Grot. Granted, there's a rocket there. But right now, getting a rocket right here established wouldn't be too terribly difficult. Tank, bike, and battlecopter. Pops super out there. Anti-air managed to blitz towards a bomber. That was a free pick there. Hits the artillery while at it, hits the bike. Right now, Grot does have 27,000 income for 22. The Will's taking a lot of good, damage this turn. Temporary report has been established. Bomber has 20 fuel remaining. Nice little join there on the Grot's tank. Capturing up another prop, shows 28,000 for 21,000. Takes out the 8 here. Duster takes a shot against the missile. Not too much damage. 15%. We've got another bomber, infantry, and tank commits a base hit. In turn of 166 versus 166, so they're extremely close to each other. Good amount of picks there. Got a mech ready to be loaded up into the rig, tank and anti-air. Does take out the battlecopter, hits the mech there. Tank. Bomber does fall back to airport. Grot gets another shot off, up to 24 energy, so she gets +1 radius now. Leaves herself 11,000 in the bank. 4 health bomber, actually heading all the way back down to the southern airport, not relying on the temporary airport. Probably just trying to avoid the duster. AT here to help protect that bomber. Grot's turn. Will does save the 7,000 funds. Tank hits tank. Of course, Grot has lost her CO tank. Call is CO, the 3 elf bomber. Missile stays out of range of the, or bomber stays out of range of the missile. Tank. Tank hits tank, does another superpower pop, and Antier once again slips on by and hits the bomber. Grot sells 28,000 versus 21,000 income. But Will's able to just get a lot of engagements going. Tank, and mech. And the bombers at the airport down south. Hits the anti-air, hits the mech. Duster hits the mech and finish off the said mech. Leaves the tank down to 2% health and now dead. Some good hits there on those tanks. You now have a 6 health artillery help protect this tank here. Tank. Hits the tank there twice. We'll hit the artillery next. Joins onto the command tank, joins on the other tank. 2 artillery can of course strike any of the tanks in front of it, barring the 8 health tank. Grot bombers now to 7 health could join the 1 and 7 health bomber together. Does hit infantry. Tank hits tank. Missile gets struck. Tank gets struck, putting the battlecraft in range of the missile. And it's going to push forward a 7 health bomber. Medium tank. You know, Grot does have 30,000 money still in the bank. Tank, leaving 16,000 in the bank, ends her in 157 versus 135, so she still has economic advantage. It feels like the game's going quite well for Will. Does hit the tank there. Goes with 40 energy, pretty close to another superpower. Tank. Joins the bombers together. Didn't CO either of them. She also has 40,000 money in the bank as well, and she's not currently spending it. Tank. Get some good shots there. Artillery and bomber. That could be a CO bomber. Good strikes on the tanks over here. There's a lot of indirects down south. Let's take a Duster there with the anti-air, giving Will his superpower available. Just stay out of him, +2 of the maximum range of the anti-air. Because or else Grot will take another hit. I think that bomber's too close. I have a feeling that bomber's too close. Does not CO the bomber. Battlecopter, infantry, artillery, and tank. Pop superpower, anti-air hits spike. Tank hits spike, and guess what? Anti-air strikes bomber again. That's the 3rd time. Will's bomber's course still maximum efficiency. He's finally at full health. Good number of kills there. Does not finish off the tank. Takes out the mech there. Tank's down to 3% health. Missile takes out the battlecopter, takes out the anti-air, and the artillery. Anti-air tank. Bomber does strike the tank. It appears that Grodd has no anti-air up north, and only has one anti-air option on this entire map, and that's this anti-air way back here. No dusters, no missiles, just a single anti-air. Does take out the missile. You think he's a good shot there as well? Tank, tank, and tank. You think does strike medium tank? Will's getting a good amount of power charge now, up to 36, 37, 43. Of course, this time the anti-air only did not do 9% damage or 9 health damage to the bomber, just only 5% this time around, or 50%. Slavery does finish off the anti-air. Tank, anti-air, and tank. Right, insert 144, Will starts turn 143, so pretty even. Does take out a couple more units there. Will has 59 energy, pretty close to another superpower. Yep, but too bad Grodd's bombers have hardly been staying alive. They've been more dead than alive so far this entire game. Not sure when you could join watching the game, but 3 times this game, Will pops superpower and anti-air hits the bomber, knocking down to 1 health. 3 times. I don't think Grodd's bombers even got a single kill this game. She's pulled out 4 of them, I think, so far. Holding back those bombers once again. At this rate, maybe she just needs that rig out to get a second temporary airport to double repair rate. Triple tanks. Trying to flip up property. She still has 27,000 income for 22. Medium tank bike. And a regular tank. It's the infantry unit there in terms of capture. Joins the bombers. We've got a fighter now pulling in field for a sortie. Really tired of Will's bomber that's at maximum efficiency. Bike, infantry bike. We have a CO tank on the field now. I don't remember when she CO'd it. Will has enough superpower or charge for a superpower. Just a matter of waiting for next turn to deploy it. Tank anti-air bike. Got another bomber bike rot. It's like bomber number 7. Both soccer players are stockpiling quite a bit of forces in the field. Garage right now is 206 versus 209, so she still has 7,000 in the bank. Bike. Up to 114 versus 209. Tank anti-air. And infantry and another battlecopter. Bomber pushes way forward. It's probably gonna come down to one big fight. Garage is now back to a corner with Will's superpower available with +2 movement range. He's able to get into range, no problem. Garage just have to simply take a shot and then hope that the counterattack will be very good for her. Getting superpower is not going to be, or power, or superpower is not going to be likely. She's at 0 energy at the moment. Excuse me, got hiccups coming up. Medium tank's still low on ammo, it's down to 2 ammo. And its artillery right now does have 20 fuel. Medium tank, and mech. Pulls back the bomber to the airport, trying to get that repaired on up. Central City's about to get captured. And that'll put Will up to 20. Oh, pops superpower. Anti-air hits bike, bomber hits tank hits artillery, battlecopter hits tank hits tank. One of the rocket be range, rocket gets range, knocked down. Bike hits bike, infantry hits bike. Anti-air hits infantry, tank hits tank hits again. Bomber once again gets struck by anti-air during superpower. This marks the 4th or 5th time that happened this game. Mech sprinted way forward, interrupted his own capture there. And I don't the fighter's in range, so it could perhaps take out the bomber there. Just needs a bit more of a clear path towards it. Will's end its turn with just to do day-to-day spending. But right now has 252 on the field versus 166. 273 versus 166. Takes a shot there at the tank. Front line just firing away. Battlecopter hits tank, knocks it out. Joins those two bombers together. Fighter ranges the battlecopter, does not range the bomber. Looks like the fighter's going to be range some anti-airs. So I don't think that was a great shot there. Well, it's not able to range the bomber was a big problem there. Tank, tank, tank. Maybe should have gone for anti-air over here to help deal with the bomber since that fighter's going to be struck by anti-air too. Bomber takes out the command tank. Hits the battlecopter, hits the tank. Well, has enough for another superpower. Hits the fighter, knocking it down to 1 health. Right now it's like 212 versus 104. Will has double the value of the field. I don't think Grop will be able to come back in this game. I think losing her seal unit from the... and was unable to pull out her own superpower was where she just sort of lost all of momentum. She had great momentum this game until that moment. Bomber mech double bike. Fighter strikes battlecopter. Bomber takes out the anti-air. Bomber hits regular tank rather than anti-air. Does not take the medium tank. Probably should have been a good idea for the bomber to strike the anti-air, honestly. And now, once again, a bomber will be struck by anti-air and a superpower. And since that time since it was back to Veterans, it was able to pick off the bomber with 1 shot. Fighter infantry commits a base skip. Tank, tank, and tank. I have a feeling that Will may just do annihilation victory this turn. Though taking out this healthy tank back here is not likely. Nothing much before me really comment right now. The game's just not in a clean-up state. And Grot has resigned. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. Apologies, I am back. Let's see now. Oops, not that button. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advance Wars. These are in Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side as the green Davis. We got Siler SK. Spawn on top right side as the red Mirror. We got the Brazilian guy. Some notes as well. This is the pre-server reset version of this map, where there's now a line of 3 properties and got the temporary seaports here. Those seems a little bit different as well. Either way, when it comes to COs, both of these are technically custom COs. Fully custom CO, Mira, 0% boarding cost, 6 radius, no explosion, 45 energy, no CO zone effects, and for 45 energy, just do 1 damage globally. Davis is, of course, technically a custom CO, has standard boarding cost, 1 radius, a reduced initial expansion zone of 25 energy, 60, and all units get plus 10, ground units get additional plus 30% defense, so very defensive, plus 40% defense for all ground units. And for the superpower, get rid of all that and just go plus 40% offense, so hammer, anvil sort of aspect. So let's get started. Double infantry. And unusually heavy metal for Davis. He's a bit more of a scaredy pants sort of character in the campaign. Not a coward, just a bit more of a, I am just scared, I have no idea what to do, what's going on. Everything's on fire. Then again, that's sort of the whole purpose of Days of Ruin. More infantry. More infantry. Right now, Davis has 5,000 monies, so probably will go for triple infantry again. Got the gunboat now loaded on up. Comm tower immediately got blitzed, so that will be captured. Kenny Fowler. Don't know who Kenny Fowler is off the top of my head. My apologies. That's an initial infantry game. I can just simply Google that. Got a pair of bikes there. Kenny Fowler. Who was that again? Got Kenny Fowler from Two Stupid Dogs, a cartoon for Cartoon Network. I have never seen that cartoon. I have no idea. Two Stupid Dogs came out in 1995. Yeah, I was born in 94, so I would not have known that reference. Got tank, infantry. So first tank on the field, maybe CO'd. Those not coming to see that it's sealed on top of the HQ. We'll have to delete the gunboat and sink it to the bottom of the HQ. Tank, bike, and infantry. Does the other tank there? Oh yeah, she has 0 boarding costs for her tank. Doesn't really matter where she loads it up. A lot of times people seals it on the HQ later on, because 1, it always getting room to think of whether or not one seal it for later. 2, it allows you to keep your spending going, and see you a little bit later. Of course, as Mira, you don't have to worry about that too much. Davis does load up that same tank as well. Artillery, pair of infantry. Recon heading more down south. Infantry, tank, and infantry. No conflicts just yet, but may see a bit of a collision here. If you can simply fall back to the forest for now. Just know that said character is overly cautious, awkward, afraid, and could be consequences. Got it. Oh, that reminds me of an anime. I haven't watched it. It was a little bit too stupid for my liking. The overly cautious hero, something like that. I tried watching it. It was a little bit too stupid for my liking. Apparently, it's pretty good. Tank, bike, battlecopter, and infantry. Does get a shot there. Does get that unit there. Does spot the recon. Recon got reconnoitered. And also capturing a decent number of these properties right here as well. Got 20,000 income. So it looks like the capture game's going pretty well for Davis. So still got a good number of properties still despicably neutral, like these two here. I mentioned pretty much all the center ones, though this one's trying to be flipped. In order to stop that, we'll have to stop capturing up one of these. And maybe good idea just to let it get captured and continue capturing. Right now, Dave's at 6 energy, Mir's at 4. A-tier, bike, and battlecopter. Capture those cities there. Those who will be forfeiting that city in the center. Center-ish area. And also his bully Buzz kind of looks like a young Waylon. I know Waylon does epitomize like the hot shot sort of idea. I don't know how else to describe it. And of course, good number of tanks here. 1, 2, 3. Versus just one so far, the CO tank. Of course, the CO tank has a lot of extra defense. It's on top of a forest, so it now has a plus 95% in total from all sources. So it's quite bullet resistant. Things can never be bulletproof. Unless you get ubercharged. And bike does continue capturing. Right now it has 18 capture progress out of 20. Artillery, recon, bike or battlecopter, and artillery. at 140,000 versus 117, so Davis does have a nice turn advantage. He has 30,000 income versus 22, so quite a difference now, and still some probably still despicably neutral. Like 1, 2 cities, 3 cities here that are neutral. Anti-air Duster, Bike, and Infantry. Let's get a good shot there. Anti-air, battlecopter, anti-air, and tank. Day defending Davis. Yep. DDD. Triple D. Isn't that a character from Kirby? King DDD. Oh, there's the Mira superpower. I wasn't paying attention. I always forget her power charge is very quick and reduced. So 1 damage global, and this map is pretty high income, so the global damage will start adding up pretty quickly. When I say add, I mean subtract by 1. Couple tanks, bike, and battlecopter. Do have a infantry unit immediately, you monster. I think it's of all the 1 global damage, you could join everything together to get big refund to get big units. It's kind of ironic. This game was created by Hull. The guys went the guys behind Kirby. How about was it? I forget. I would be surprised if I don't know. I don't know all the Nintendo platform publishers, or really any publishers really. There's very few games I've been excited for lately. The only game I'm somewhat excited for is Ashes Singularity 2. Battlecopter gets struck there. Dave's at 54 NG, so Barber can go all out. Hits the tank there. Tank goes down. Artillery can get a good shot on that tank. Hits the command tank here. So yeah, Davis may pull out his superpower the next turn, which Mira can pull out her power next turn as well. Excuse me. Okay, just a bunch of infantry, which could start overrunning some Davis's properties. It's 32, 33, 34 versus 22,000 income. He has a massive income advantage. Missile, tank, infantry, battlecopter. Pops superpower with hardly anything left to move, but has 40% firepower for a limited selection of units. That superpower seemed a little bit off. That superpower seemed a little bit weird and weak. Could have done that much better. And remember as well, that stuff, you lose your defense with that superpower. Of course, got another mirror superpower. temporary airport actually got established here, which is going to respawn the Duster. Anti-air infantry bike and battlecopter. At best, Mir had a 9 HP B-copter. Yep. Duster's of course hidden in that temporary airport. It does hide air units. Mir's tank does go down there. Number of good picks there. Anti-air strikes Duster. Duster's down 7% health. I'm pretty sure that Anti-air is down to minimal health. Yeah, 1% health. They shot against the battlecopter as well. David's just being blitzing. Battlecopter hits tank, hits the infantry unit there. Hits the bike, tank hits the tank, or battlecopter. Dave's tank looks like will not be going on down this turn. He's going to get 18 energy. There's the infantry unit there. Tank, tank, and bike. Captures the city there. 35,000 versus 21,000 income is still quite massive. Does the battlecopter there, gets +1 radius. Tank, and anti-air with a battlecopter. Takes the regular tank there. Mirrors the 41, 44, has superpower. And the artillery's in positions that can shell anything that's starting to hit the command tank. So it's a good ambush position, but looks like she did not have enough steam to punch through the front line. Infantry, bike, and tank does get trapped there. Mech is a good strike on the tank, joins on the command tank. Meteor falls back to the HQ or city. There's a tank there, battlecopter hits battlecopter. I can see the chain of battlecopters just slowly migrating the way forward. Anti-air infantry, medium tank battlecopter. At this current rate, you may want to go for a lander on one of those seaports. He has 35,000 income versus 21. Even with Mirror's superpower being very easy to play on the field, that may not be enough for the income advantage. Battlecopter, bike, tank, and bike. Ton of vision control, ton of income control. And this entire flank's been a bit stagnant. Mir could have potentially pushed forward if all of these infantry units there. Flare pops superpower there, so now it's plus 40% offense. Lord joins. Puts around Duster, hits the infantry. Finds some infantry. And does block the artillery a little bit too late. Hits the tank there. Not really a great superpower once again by Davis. Medium tank, tank anti-air. And almost enough for another superpower. Duster, bike, and commits a base skip. Looks like a tank there, puts a round into the meteor. Pulls back a number of units, putting them on top of cities. Luckily he has the fundings for data repairs. Another Duster, artillery, tank, and infantry. Get some good hits there. Good shots there. Bike, infantry, battlecopter, and tank. Right now, Dave's just sheer income is what's keeping him in the game at the moment. Tank does hit tank. Does gonna go around the battlecopter, but since all of his units are slightly wounded, they just can't finish these units off. Artillery, medium tank. Another superpower popped. Does spot the anti-air with the 1 health infantry unit there. I feel she's going to be trapped. She's going to trap herself onto this artillery soon. Tank, bike. Yep. And the tank does get a good shot there. And now Mirror's starting to push over here, which is going to cause some issues. This anti-air will be showed by the artillery piece. Got multiple artillery pieces, a lot of units rotating down south. It's the infantry unit there. Battlecopter heading down south. Infantry. Does hit the battlecopter there. Rocket artillery. Sorry, or Davidson's turn of 181 versus 152. Duster does hit the battlecopter, does reveal the missile, so one of these Duster or battlecopters will probably be shot down. Probably the 9 health battlecopter. Does Luck Mirror get another superpower this turn? Trying to flip multiple cities right now. Dave still has 35,000. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter. Speaking of which, Mirror also needs more indirects, even though she has even if she has to buy a battleship. True, battleship's too expensive though. I would say she only has 21,000 income, as opposed to Davis's 35,000. Davis at 39 energy. And Davis is starting to clean up everything down here. Davis has a good, speaking of indirects, he has a good number of indirects down here. That's what you meant, right? Bike does spot a medium tank and artillery piece. Pops another superpower. Tank, bike, and battlecopter. Does hit the bike there, hits the tank, puts a good round to the battlecopter. Finished off the unit there. Davis has another superpower available, but he doesn't have enough offensive units up here to really warrant it. Could try charging forward these units as well, but don't think superpower will be useful next turn. Infantry, rig, recon, and battlecopter. It's the medium tank there. It does reveal the CO tank. Within the minimum range of the tank there, but the Duster will be shot down by the missile, for the missile knows where it's at, for where it's knows where it's not. No superpower this turn, only 12 energy, and she has moved her CO anti-air. Tank. Mech, bike, war tank, and battlecopter. Davis still has 35,000 income. Pops the superpower there. This tank could be spotted, so all the artillery gets good shelling there. Here's the medium tank. It's regular tank. At 27 energy, 30 energy, just needs another 15, which is possible. No superpower this turn. Bike, infantry, and battlecopter. Here's a 42 out of 45 energy. Does got the interior there. It's a good shot there in the tank. Interrupts the capture. Battlecopter, tank, and bike. Insert 226 versus 142, and at 201. Hits the medium tank twice, is in range of a missile. Hits the artillery, anti-air can also take out a battlecopter while at it. Davis's tank does go down, could CO the gunboat. The gunboat's actually down to 2 health, so she's popped 8 superpowers this game. Got a rig. Tank and bike. Does take out the battlecopter there, hits the infantry unit. Artillery pulls back, takes the infantry unit there, takes out the battlecopter. This meteorite has taken another shot there, it's down 29%. Bike, mech, and battlecopter. Interior tank. Does get a good shot there. Hits the bike. Missile advance 1 tile on that city. Which of course retains good coverage over that, what's it called, Hipper Airport, and now extend a little bit past it. The meteorite has gone down as well. Tank, battlecopter, tank, and tank. Does look at the anti-air there. Battlecopter will strike the tank here. Hits the medium tank up here. Medium tank gets tagged twice. And now thrice. Yeah, Cyrus is. I think the Cyrus's far superior income, just being so much better than Mira's superpower. I mentioned Cyrus still has Davis still has access to his day-to-day passive and superpower. Yep, gunboat becoming gun bits. It's slowly becoming California compliant. After all, you can't have gun in California. Only angry tubes. Does another battlecopter there. Does put the counter there. And if Davis claims a column tower, that'd be a great little boon there. We do also have now the rocket over here, able to provide some good coverage. It is pretty exposed, but nothing to engage it. Nothing spotted then to engage it. Mech, tank, and battlecopter. So tank there. We do have artillery. Let's non-range do anything in the moment. Also another superpower there, and resigns there. Yeah, the sheer income difference just caused too many issues. This grade saying, think of watching, and on to the next replay. Before I start the next replay, again, I have time for one last one. I do need to use the restroom again. Please give a moment. My apologies, I am back. Let's see, the next replay I have on top of my list is this one. Wait, yep, wait. Okay, it's a different game entirely, just same amount of turns. So, this should be interesting. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advance Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side is the Yellow Brenner. We got Zuvi the Invader. Spawn north side is the Green Hawk. We got Sylar SK. When it comes to COs, Hawk is of course a custom CO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost 2 radius, 30, 70, 120 with 120 maximum energy. All units get plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense. For 50 energy, you get the Black Wave effect, and for the super, the Black Storm, with potentially up to 20 energy rebate. Brand has been nerfed for the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost 3 radius, only one expansion of fully maxed out 60 maximum energy. All direct units get additional plus 10% offense, plus 30% defense. And all units get plus 3 health recovery, along with all the plus 10, plus 30% for all direct units. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, it's just early deploy infantry and have gunboat be gunboat. So right now he has put the gunboat in a position that could be ready to pick up, and does drop off an infantry unit there as well. Similar deployment there, more infantries. Another pair of infantry, of course. They have minimal income, not much they can do. 3,000 income, so double infantry. Infantry, infantry, and infantry. Brennan does have 7,000 monies in the bank, so could go for a tank and double base cap. That's not likely. We'll probably go for, what, triple bike? Or, nope, double infantry, one bike. Could have gone for double bike. Triple bikes cost 75, so that was not a possibility. Next turn, he will have 1,500, which is enough for a tank and double infantry. Bike, bike, bike. You now have gun or double or triple infantry. I have my mind. Wait, that was another gunboat. At first, like, it's just probably a gunboat that just got weighted there. But nope, you do have a second gunboat now in the field with triple infantry. I was not expecting that. Whenever I see a gunboat weighted on a seaport, I just assume it's not purchased. It just simply ends its turn there. But sometimes I don't pay close enough attention. City here got captured. Could be double tapped by nearby infantry units. Tank, double infantry. Does get a double tap on the infantry unit there, knocking it out. Seals the tank up north. Triple infantry, saving 3,000 money. So next turn, Hawk will have 16,000 money in the bank. Could go for Battlecopter and some other stuff. Mech Recon Mech. Interesting deployment. This mech here at least makes sense. It could be easily loaded up here, but this mech, that's unusual. Recon probably hitting up the left flank. We're flipping the city. Comp are being obtained by Brenner now. Tank, and infantry. Right now, Brennan does have 20,000 encumber 17, slight advantage. Artillery, anti-air, and bike. No aircraft on the field just yet. Anti-air, tank, and bike. It does get trapped there a little bit. Takes out that piece of infantry, gets some good damage there. Burns up to 15 energy right now. Nothing stopped the CO tank in this region. This tank is about 2 turns away. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and infantry. Couple captures there. Brenner can either interrupt zone capture or continue capturing. Well, a good idea to continue capturing. Artillery, infantry, battlecopter, and bike. Both players going for a battlecopter in the same turn. Mech gets pushed up north. Artillery, anti-air, and infantry. Battlecopter, anti-air, artillery, and infantry. Battle capture center up to 26 versus 27. Try and flip this property here, which currently has 2 capture progress remaining. It's the infantry unit there, get a nice bit of power charge there, the 51 energy. He could pop his superpower to counter out Hawk's power and or superpower. Good shot there. Will not be interrupting that capture. It does get a good shot on the recon though. We do still have the CO tank nearby, 53 energy. ATR here, so Battlecop heading up over here is a bad idea. Trying to flip that property. Recon takes shot at the meteorite, you monster. Has enough for superpower. Does not go the superpower. Does not see the CO tank in this region. Not to mention another tank there, so Brenner's tank here could be double tapped. Strikes the meteorite once again, you monster. Hits the bike. Right now, Brenner's tank looks like will go down. We've got the 2 tanks here, another much anti-air now finished off. Tank hits tank, tank hits tank. And it looks like the bike will finish it off. Interrupts the capture there. Tank, medium tank, and regular tank. I think those things are meter wrong. Nah, I don't get that pun. That one's probably a stretch. Let's finish off a unit over here. Brenner has resealed him to a medium tank this time. We do also have an anti-tank down south as well, but it'll take a bit of time to get that forward. Duster, tank, bike, and infantry. Trying to flip that city once again. Both players are 28,000 incomes, are pretty even. Looks like the capture progress is completely symmetrical as well, including the odd bit on this side for both sides. missile recon, battlecopter, and infantry. There's a bike over there. Got mech, anti-air, tank, and battlecopter. It's that 7 health infantry unit there. Right now, Hawk's at 45 energy, 5 more energy. He has enough for his superpower, but his steel tank has moved this turn. Anti-air, tank, artillery. Hits the 7 health infantry unit there. Good shot there. Takes out the infantry unit there. Interrupts the capture. Up to 25 energy. 29 energy. Doesn't like it if 30 means much for him since it doesn't get +1 expansion at 30. But it looks like Hawk will be able to flip this property next turn. Just 4 capture progress remaining. Mech takes a shot against the meteorite. Takes the bike there. Interrupts the capture. Of course, artillery pieces in range of the anti-air, so that's easy pickings. And without, he needs a full superpower in order to get this up to 4 health to get the capture going. And it looks like it does not go the power this turn. Up to 65 energy. Medium tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Does the anti-air, hits the battlecopter, hits the anti-air, hits the battlecopter, hits the battlecopter, hits the battlecopter, hits the regular tank. So, Brenner now has enough for superpower. Artillery advance. It does strike the artillery. Oh, it's got another artillery in range. Medium tank is also lurking in the woods up here. Hawk can get a good amount of power charge this turn. Though right now he has a bit of a choke point. He can't get past this mech there. Don't full after effective a power he should be able to break him through, but do not have a battleship or bike and mech. Battleship in return. Infantry, and bike. Does break on through there, getting good amount of power charge. He has enough for a full Black Storm. Black Storm has been summoned. But that was probably a really bad Black Storm because we have Brenner's superpower. He did not think that one through, did he? Granted, this is not Advanced Wars by Web, where you could just simply do global repair. This is Tiny Wars, where you don't usually see Brenner's superpower repairing the damage from global damage. Since the number of seals that do global damage is quite small. You got Hawk, you got Mira, you got technically the point damage for Tabata and Snowwind. I think that's about it. Oh, Cyrus as well, with a very even weaker attack. He's good shots there. Missile does take out a unit. Very nice. Hits the Duster while at it. Battleship strikes the bike. You know, Hawk still has a slight income advantage, 29 versus 27. He has 200,000 in the field versus 176, so he has a slight advantage as well. Tank, rocket, and bike. Brenner's battleship can strike the medium tank. Does strikes the medium tank. Mech maybe will finish it off. Nope, does hit there. Mech hits the command tank. Do you have a bomber now deployed on the field by Brenner? Does take out the anti-air. Does take out the mech. Anti-tank is in a good position, though the medium tank did pull back. If he spots the regular tank there, he'll shell it, but there's way too much infantry nearby, the anti-tank will at it. We do now have a black wave now summoned. Brandon did have paid quite a bit in repairs. He's at 18,000 versus 27,000 income. Does get some good damage up north. Rig, infantry, and battlecopter. Rocket, battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. Going for a temporary report, but thanks that one bit of global damage, it'll take an extra turn to build the temporary report. And you do have another rig over here as well. You're really trying to rig the game. You think those strike infantry unit. Does get a good shot there. Battlecopter falling back to the full airport. We do now have another rig, rocket and mech. Triple rig is unusual to say the least. And we got a rig over here, but that's his first rig. That's quite understandable. Pulling out the temporary report somewhere over here would be very nice. Maybe right there would be good. And of course we got Spambot on Twitch. Luckily, they've just been very broken lately. Flare, rig, or recon and duster with another rig. It's the same rig, now think about it. I think my mind just melted right now. Then strike the medium tank there. Battleship is down to 1 ammo, so it's been getting some good work done, to say the least. Flare, recon, and war tank. Infantry. Does hit the anti-air twice. Infantry unit hits infantry unit there. Do have no superpower available for Brenner now. And right now Hawk's at 17 energy, so it's probably a good idea to go for the superpower sooner rather than later. Plus it also help out with restoring health to slow a bunch of the units nearby. The Duster could be up to 6 health, which makes it far more usable as well. Yeah, I think now is a good turn. This is probably a good turn for the superpower. Mentioned extra global defense will probably help out over here. Battleship's down to 1 ammo. Maybe we'll take a shot from the seaport. That would be great, so we can get resupplied all of it. War tank heading down south. True, he spent all of his ammo without a single promotion so far. Is that a good or bad thing? I mean, he spent all of his ammo, which means he's firing. He did end his turn next to a rig, so you can... Wait, is he trying to build double temporary seaport to get full access up here? He actually might be trying to do that. Missile here, and anti-air infantry and the battlecopter trying to be repaired. He does spot the rocket gets struck. Gunboat gets deleted. Maybe we're going to try to CO that Veteran C2 tank. Battleship over here has at least 1 promotion and consumed all of its ammo as well. Anti-tank is in range of the battlecopter. Anti-tanks are based on around, I think, largely on the Flak 88s and other World War II heavy anti-tank guns. It feels like it's based off the Flak 80, if not the Pak 43. Battleship gets resupplied up, now back up to 6 ammo. Tank hits tank, battleship hits artillery. And he is going for double temporary seaport there, so the blue water ships will be able to reach all the way up here. Not important right now. Bomber is still floating about. Medium tank strikes regular tank there, up to 21 energy. Bomber heading down south. Artillery struck, I think that was a 5 health mech, if I remember correctly. Resupplies the artillery, takes out that unit there. We do now have another rig, artillery. Oh, that CO tank is in range of the battleship. Especially when the seaport gets, temporary seaport, gets built. AKA dry dock. A lot of good hits over here, so Hawk's making some good progress in general. Temporary seaport has been built. Does offer concealment to his naval units there, so he can always park his battleship there and hide for a little bit as well as getting repaired. He supplies a flare. Maybe an aircraft carrier wouldn't be half bad. The battleship, the bomber is in this region. Is that bomber in range of the missile? Nope, 2 tiles away. Missiles feel like they reach pretty far in this game if there's just one more tile. Which actually makes them far more usable. That's all they really needed, just +1 range and they become very usable. Oh, you're talking about the double seaport and the battleship goes down. Well, we gotta go south to avoid winter, right? That's how that works. Hits the flare. It does get a bit of a CO zone power charge from that. Can't push forward and hit that flare because the max efficiency artillery is nearby. And the missile, I'm not sure, I think he knows exists, but probably has trouble figuring out where. Resupplies the bomber now. Is out of range. Oop. That Duster's in range of the missile. And seaports, temporary seaports do not hide aircraft. And he probably does have vision of that. Yep, I can't really tell. Because missiles had 5 vision range by web and other advanced wars. I'm pretty sure they still have 5. It may have 6 in this game. Can't remember off the top of my head. It's also the Bahamas is where the Bermuda Triangle is, so part of it. Looks like Duster may have not been. Nope, he did not actually spot the Duster there. He was in range, but he didn't have vision of it. He blossoms Black Wave. Anti-tank does strike the battlecopter. And the battleship does park in the temporary seaport. 5 vision actual game, got it. I couldn't remember if it got buffed with the 6 to go along with its range of 6. I can never remember. There's been a lot of range differences in these Days of Ruin as well. Anti-air tank infantry. Temporary airport has been established up here. Tank does get in the range of the anti-tank, just needs a bit of spotting. Speaking of spotting, rockets in range of the anti-tank. And the flare here has 1 ammo remain, so it could spot the anti-tank. Battlecopter, mech, double tank. Interrupts the capture and stops the capture. Flare is fired. Anti-tank strikes the rig and not the regular tank there. Spots the last wrong moment. Pushes up north. Does take some damage there. Artillery head down south to this forest. Got another bike, infantry, battlecopter, and anti-air. 2 more engines, then you can pull, get his superpower going. Rocket strikes the anti-tank. Anti-tank gets struck by the regular tank and knocked out. All of these units are quite damaged across the field, so the Brenner's superpower could be very useful to spawn out sooner rather than later. Which could help him also, if he goes for an earlier black wave, he will be able to recover that damage as well. Hell, if he even goes for some English weather, he can also recover that damage while at it. Tank, battlecopter, bike, and tank. It'd be easy enough. Yep, superpower's not available. Pop superpower. Strikes the anti-air. Bomber has extra defense this turn. It is a direct fire unit. Hits the duster. Hits the flare. Hits the bike. Strikes the missile. But it's a max emergency missile with 8 health. It can still probably one-shot a battlecopter. Then again, with Burner superpower, maybe not. The missile is in range of the bomber. Right now, Brenner has 32,000 income stored on up. Infantry, tank, and medium tank with a battlecopter. Insert 320,000 versus 326,000, so still pretty even. And then, oops, I hit my microphone pretty hard there. My apologies. And I wonder how much damage can this do? Good chunk at least. Duster hit duster, flare falls back, battlecopter hits battlecopter. Hawk can bring in black wave. You can still go for, oh, pops black wave now. Takes out the bomber, thinks the health recovered and damage dealt. He did not seal up any more power charge, and eye for some English weather. Battlecopter strikes a war tank. Brenner did take some big losses that turn. And Brenner decides to resign now. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight, so everyone, think